done. Looks real good. Got the Baja type spacer that comes with the lace shaft. As you can see, it's got the Taylor RC logo on there. And this came together real smooth. Everything screwed in perfectly. The tolerances were awesome. And it just worked out. I mean, this went together smooth. I was a little apprehensive about taking the transmission apart that I've never been into before, but it went smooth. Like I said, this is the Kraken RC transmission case, along with their gear plate and the Taylor RC Blackbone lace shaft. All right, I used MCD grease for all the gears on the inside. It came with new bearings for the gear plate, and you reuse the same bearings and gears for inside the transmission. Inside the transmission, it looked beefy. This planetary gear here, this ring gear on this diff was huge, nice and beefy, thick. I replaced the diff fluid. Actually, I might as well say I added diff fluid to this thing. It was very little diff fluid inside here. So guys, check your transmission, your diffs. Make sure you got enough fluid. It really wasn't that much grease on the transmission gears. So I put 1 million diff fluid in this diff, and I put MCD grease all throughout the transmission. So we should have a bulletproof transmission now, as long as these transmission gears hold up. But everything went together smooth. I'm very happy with how everything went together. I like these brake pins here with the springs in there. That's awesome. They do make an upgraded, I think they call this a brake plate. It's made out of billet. I may get it later on, but really wasn't too worried about that. But everything went smooth, man. I'm happy. So that's all done. I'm gonna clean up and we'll get this in the car. All right, so just wanted to show you, like I said, this is a stock transmission here. So I guess you could say this is the front rear hinge pin brace. It's only used for the plastic case. All right, so the Kraken case doesn't need it because it's all billet. It's all built in right here. It's all built in. So I was trying to find out where this went, and like I said, it is not needed now. So you can just bolt that straight on down, and all you have is the rear hinge pin brace. All right, so we got the Detroit Performance high flow fuel kit on there. We got a plug here, and then we got the vent here, the stock vent. I just kept that. And then we got the wing clunker down inside there. So we got some fast-paced fuel going to this thing now. All right, transmission is on. All the bolts went in nice and easy. Blue Loctite on everything. And I am just ecstatic about how this build is going, man. Going to get real easy. This thing is so much easier to work on than the Baja. So much easier. So y'all can say what y'all want. This thing is, I like this. This is my new Baja platform technically. So man, this is nice. Because these bones have the pin in them with a set screw, we are going to be putting heat shrink tubing. There's the number right here off Amazon. Put some heat shrink tubing right over top of that out-drive cup. Let me get these cut to size, and put some heat on it, and we'll get that shrunk down. Alright, so there it is right there. I found that size to work perfect for every cup that I've done, especially these Vectors. And like I said, you don't want to go all the way up to the case. Leave a little bit of space there, a little bit of space there. But you just want to make sure that slot is covered up so that the pin has no way of escaping out of this thing. Now we just hit it with some heat. And there it is. Nice sleeve on there, so that pin can't come out. So in a race, you don't want that pin to come out. If you do, man, you're short. Like I said, the other ends are CVs, so we're good there. All right, shock tower back on, just sitting on there. I got to put 6 screws in there. We got the bones in on both sides. That's good to go. The one thing I do love about this build is all the screws are the same size. So all the transmission screws are the same size. All the shock tower screws are the same size. As you guys know, the Baja, sometimes you'll have 20 millimeter, sometimes you'll have 30 millimeter. It's not the case with the Vesla. So easy to work on, guys. Easy to work on. All right, so we got the shock tower mounted. Get ready to put these arms on. I noticed that there is a ton of aft and forth play on this arm. So I got some shims that I'm gonna be putting on here to shim this up a little bit, and I'll probably shim it further to the back, give it a little more wheelbase. All right, and then with the new rear end that we're doing here, we have the Tail RC clipless hinge pins for the rear and the front. All right, so we got the spacers there. We got 4 in the front and 1 in the rear, just because it gives it something smooth to ride on, and everything seems to move real easy. So that's what we do. 4 in the front, 1 in the rear on this one. All right, so it's all on there now. Now all that's left to do is put the screw right here on both sides. Let's see if I can get in there. There it is on both sides, and then we should be done with the rear end for the most part. Time to throw the shocks on. All right, so another thing I noticed with the Tail RC clipless setup, it has the 8 millimeter hinge pin bolt. So use your 8 millimeter here, and I think it's 2.5 over here, hex, as opposed to 2.5s on there. So just like on the Bajas, the Vesla has the lower hinge pin brace for the hubs. All right, so we have the shocks on. We got the JS shock stops, so these things can't pop off anymore. It came with the standoffs. I didn't have the nuts in my kit. At least I couldn't find them. Maybe I misplaced them, but I had to use them. Luckily I had my own nuts to put on there. Everything's on, looks good. I also noticed at full droop, this is at full droop right now, that it turns easy. So there's no bind at full droop on the Vesla. Another geometry thing they solved. Awesome, man. This is gonna be a sick build, dude. I am in love with this build. All right. Only thing left to do on the rear end is to change these hubs up to those. All right, and here we go. We got the pinless hinge pin bottom braces on there. We got the hub on there. Like I said, make sure you check the direction of your hub. Make sure you got the left and the right on there. 3 degrees toe, and looks good. So we are going to stop here. We are done with the rear end for the most part. I think that's pretty much it for the rear end. Sway bar. I gotta put the sway bar on there, but you know, that's simple stuff. I actually might run it without the sway bar first, just to see how it goes. But done with that. We got the tank completed with the Detroit Performance high flow kit on there. We're gonna start working on this front end on the next video. Change the center brace, change this top brace. We got 2 Savox servos for here. 0236 for the steering, 0235 for the throttle and brake. And then we'll get the shocks on and get a lipo on this thing. And then eventually we will get to the engine. All right. So like I said, I figured this is a good place to stop. Rear end's complete, transmission's done, all that good stuff. Nice Tail RC lay shaft for the black bone gears. Still haven't figured out what gears I'm gonna run yet, but it is looking like a truck again. Looks good. All right, guys. It's your boy Lance, man. I appreciate you guys stopping through and watching the video. Like always, catch you on the next one. Out.